Hello everybody and welcome back. Thank you ever so much for joining me. I'm Count Christo and this is the Light in the East campaign. In this episode we're going to talk a little bit about communication efficiency and then we're going to get back to conquering Georgia. So first thing you want to do if you want to look into communication efficiency is go show utility decisions and then show communication CE, that's communication efficiency, modifiers on trade map. That makes it easier by actually putting them on the map like this. So communication efficiency begins in your capital. Instant communication, this is your capital. And then it radiates out from the capital by land and by sea, and whichever the shortest route is, that gives you your communication. So for example, a runner begins in Constantinople. He's carrying a message. The message says, we're raising taxes. And the message goes to Thraki. That's an example, by the way. Don't worry about the example. Goes here. We have perfect communication. 3-day travel time. Takes him 3 days to get from here to here. Which means that because this province doesn't get orders immediately, it has a degree of autonomy. There's some local people who are, exploiting the fact that it takes a little while for stuff to get here. So there's a bit more unrest and a bit more monthly autonomy gain. And then if we look at a more extreme example, to get communication out here to the city of Kayseri, it takes between 35 and 39 days. Sorry, that's the wrong modifier. Takes 36 days. So there's 13.2 and plus unrest and 0.6 local autonomy. It makes sense, right? If you think about it, these people are, messages take longer to get here. So the state is able to exert less influence. It can't react as quickly to new events and circumstances. So the longer it takes to communicate with somewhere, the more autonomous and more rebellious that area becomes. Note that somewhere being more autonomous tends to make it less rebellious. So the rebelliousness bit is to a certain extent cancelled out. How do you increase your communication efficiency? Well, step one, conquer places near your capital. One of the amazing things about communication efficiency is that it really motivates sensible growth. You don't just blob, you don't just conquer everything you can. You want to conquer things that you can communicate with. And you can communicate things that are close to you, and you can communicate with things that are connected by a good network of ports. So there's two ways runners move. One is overland, and you can accelerate, and they are limited in how fast they travel overland by the terrain and the level of roads and the size of the province. It takes longer to go a longer distance. Very simple. When it goes over sea, it all becomes a bit more complicated. So what happens is you're trying to send a communication from here to here. It's going to start in Constantinople, and then what it actually does is it moves to the port from the center of the province of Constantinople. Then it moves from the port to the center of the sea zone. Then it moves from the center of the sea zone to the center of the next sea zone, center of the next sea zone to the center of the next sea zone, center of the next sea zone to the center of the next sea zone, then to the port, then to the center of the province, and then it arrives. I missed a step, but don't worry, we'll come back to it. So in that way, big sea zones take longer to go through, and provinces that are close to the center of the sea zone are actually take less long to get to because the runner travels to the centers of the sea zone. That's obviously a bit weird, but that's just how it works. Also, ports that are close to the center of the province are better, and smaller provinces are better for having your ports in. But it doesn't go directly from here to here in the way I've described. It actually stops off in what are called relay ports. So the message from Constantinople goes to the coast, to the center, to the next center, and then it's going to stop off. Let's say it stops off at Chaldiki. So it goes to the port, to the center, to the port, and back. And the length of time it takes to go from Constantinople to Rhodes, if you're just going in one step, is 1 plus the number of sea zones it has to go through squared. So if it was going from here to here, it's got to go 1, 2, 3. That means it's going to take 9 days, and this is added to another modifier, which is about the distance traveled. So you're going to take, and don't think about it in days in this time, just think about it as amounts of time. So it's going 9, right? Because it had to go through 3 provinces, and then it's 3 squared plus 1. It might actually be 3 plus 1 squared, so 4 squared, 12. Wait, 12? 16. 16. But that's why you have relay ports, right? So it's going to stop off here, and then it's going to stop off, say, here, and then it's going to stop off in Rhodes. Now it's taken 3 trips, 1, 2, 3, but each of them has only been 1 plus 1 squared. which I'm not sure if it's... I think it is 2, as in 1 plus 1 squared. 1 squared is 1, so 2. I think it's 2 as opposed to 1 plus 1 and then squared, which would be 2 squared 4, because then that would be, 16, 3 trips of 4, sorry, 12, 3 trips of 4 each. So it's really good to have relay ports, and you want to have a relay port in every C zone, if at all possible. And the further apart your relay ports get, it becomes quadratically longer, the length of travel time. Do I mean quadratically? I think that's the right word. It's 1 plus x to the power of 2. Yes, yes. So there you go. That's how it works. A unique Wait for Germany campaign from Christo. Only like 50 of those. Very funny. We were talking about the artillery only meme in between episodes. Look it up. I started it. Anyway, let me... utility map mode. No, sorry. Utility decisions. Special map mode. Remove modifiers. Exit. Hide utility decisions. Okay. They're still here. I guess they'll go... Yeah, that's right. It expires in like a month or something. Anyway, that's how communication efficiency works. And one thing that should be added is that when it travels by sea, it travels faster when it goes into big ports. There's a time it takes to embark and disembark when you're getting to the port and then going into the province. There's a time taken at embarkation and debarkation. And is debarkation a word? Anyway, and that's reduced by the quality of the port and the quality of the natural harbour. So you want your relay ports to be 1 per sea zone, you want them to be in natural harbours, you want them to be in places with good ships. And that's the dockyards, not the military shipyards. There you go. And yes, high-level ports also reduce the number of days it takes to travel. Oh, Jesus. A coalition is forming. Okay. It's a little troubling. We don't really want them to siege up here, because if they win that siege, then they're into kind of some Bulgarian heartlands that we don't want to see damaged. So I'm going to send a contingent over to deal with them. And I'm going to try and accelerate its arrival by bringing in some transport ships. That's how communication efficiency works. And that's, we obviously in the previous episode... Nice, we can afford our first idea. We definitely don't want to take this, do we? No, we don't need another state yet. We'll take all these first. We talked a bit about local governance buildings. If you have them in relay ports, then that can be extremely effective. Yeah, so it's the Naples truce ending is what's causing this coalition to form. Well, we can't break the alliance with the Mamluks while the coalition still exists. That would be problematic. What's the expansion plan for the next 25 years? That's a very specific question. And a very good one. So, we're going to take the Black Sea coast, which will partly involve feeding our subject Crimea, and partly involve direct wars here against Georgia, and will partly involve taking some provinces directly. These ones just here and here. And then our attention turns to the Mamluks. We are secure. Oh, nice. Serbia moved their capital. We are fairly secure on our western border, our European border, where I'm happy with our 2 kind of buffer states that we have between us and Hungary. I feel like we've sufficiently depopulated Hungary to turn our attention away from them for a little bit, which means that, the guys to our south claim to be a caliph, and I don't really like the idea of anyone else daring to claim such a prestigious title. So we're going to see if we can depose them and become the caliphs ourselves. That's my plan. I'm going to actually transport these armies all the way over by sea. Yeah, so in the next 25 years, I expect to own the Levant, basically, is the main area of expansion that we're targeting. Possibly we'll take just the coast first off the Mamluks, given that that's the place with the most of the cities, with like a little trip inland to take Halib and Dimashrik, I think is how you pronounce that. As in the Mashriki... What the heck is that? Oh, right, the window's open. I think the Mashriki, or the Mashrik, are a people. We can gain 5 army professionalism for a mere 134 ducats. Absolutely. That's an excellent event in this circumstance. You sieging boys, let's have you come over here. We'll keep some of these going with smaller siege stacks. Don't care if a few of our subjects, guys, get killed. That's the price they pay for allowing themselves to become subjugated. But yeah, that's the expansion plan. In the longer term, we're looking to establish this European border by our direct holdings, and then we're going to have large marches as buffer states beyond that. And we're going to burn down Italy. Because we're going to keep our primary trade node in the Aegean, which is inefficient, but that's okay. Oh, they are going to take this fort. It's annoying. Narrowly not going to be able to reinforce in time. Oh, we might, though. We just might. Should we take Miltech early? It's only 15% right now. Sure, let's take that. Don't really want to switch. Well, actually, no, we can switch swivel guns. They're not a significant portion of any of our relevant armies right now. Mashriki is basically the Eastern Arab world. Arabia, Levant, Mesopotamia, Egypt, in contrast to the Maghreb, the West, which is North Africa. Thank you. I never knew that. Are crusades a thing? Yes. We can't see it right now, but the Pope, the papal controller, as he is called, can call crusades. Damn, we did lose that siege. Just as our reinforcements arrived. Look at that. Really only just too late. But it looks like we are at least going to be able to make them pay for taking my province. Annoyingly, I believe that the garrison does replenish even when there's a battle taking place in the province. Yeah, thought so. Doesn't replenish when it's under siege. If you burn down Italy, there is a chance of a crusade against me. I think there might already be a crusade against me. The way crusades work in this game is the Pope calls for one. Oh, come on. A revolt popped right while we were in the province. That's just bad luck. So these guys are going to get stack wiped for sure. Yeah, and these guys might as well. Can't retreat until the 14th. The way it works is the Pope sends out a call for all good Christian men to bring us down. And then anyone that declares war on me during that period... Sorry, this is really disconcerting. I'm going to close my window. Because my door keeps getting bumped by the differential air pressure. And it's it keeps freaking me out. So yeah, the Pope calls for a crusade, and then anyone that finds himself at war with me who is Catholic for any reason gets a bonus. Basically, they get the rate at which their manpower recovers and their degree of prestige and piety and all that is raised. And there are also events that other Catholic nations can get in order for them to lend money or men to the crusade. But it's not like a single war is declared that represents the crusade, like Crusader Kings. Yeah, no, it's not like CK2 or CK3. I think I don't think I've done a crusade in CK3. Okay, crush them up here. Let's bring the remaining two over, and we can hit them from the north with this this other army of ours. Thank you. Sorry for the questions. Never apologize for questions. It's my pleasure. Alright, so what's this peace deal going to look like? I mean, this looks good. Simple, effective, 136 aggressive expansion. Puts meaningfully, it adds to the coalition by making Genoa in it permanently. So Casa goes into it permanently. Occitania is irrelevant. It puts Venice in it fairly narrowly. Only by 12. So if we drag this war out for 4 years, Venice wouldn't join. I think this is what I'm going to do. It doesn't seem to add anyone that I'm very scared of. Oh, well, Ryazan is a little bit big. Well, they're actually just big provinces. How many... Ryazan has... Yeah, 8,000 men. I really don't want a coalition with Ryazan in it right now, to be honest. So I think we don't take this province. And then given a year, that will mean that given 2 years, we can probably get Soyonia, or however you say that, Soyonaya, and Ragusa and Ryazan to not join the coalition. Yeah, I think that's probably what we're going to do in this war. Just seize the coast, basically. And then obviously in the fullness of time, we'll take all this lot. Bum, bum, bum. Is Mesopotamia on the table after the First Mamluk War? Or is communication efficiency too bad? Definitely not after the First Mamluk War. I'm only interested in going into Mesopotamia once we have a big port built here and a big road here, here, and here. That's only at that point are we going to be considering then trying to build a, drive another road all the way down here. But it's worth noting that bad communication efficiency, it's not a deal breaker, because what it does is it results in very high autonomy. But sometimes autonomy is not a bad thing. It's not strictly a bad thing, because sometimes you want rich estates, and rich estate, the autonomy is just a sliding scale between do you get the money or do the estates get the money. It's not quite exactly that simple, but it's close. Hey Lambert, how's it going? Yes, Naples is already in the coalition against us, so that's not it's not going to make much difference. Do you think you're going to get my backup, Macedonia, in this fight? I guess I'll send these guys around. I might as well now. Love that the Mamluks are helping us in these fights. It's very convenient. Nice, catching some Circassian troops here. Oh yes, that's right. It's your kid's birthday, isn't it? Happy birthday to the Sprong. Do I want to wait 2 years for this peace deal? Well, I mean, we can't get it right now anyway, because we need to occupy this fort. I think we're going to go wait 1 year and then take this peace deal. And by 1 year, I mean 1 January. No, darn, I thought I was going to be able to leave them with their noble rebels. But we're going to have to fight them, it seems. And we caught them there. They are reinforcing, interestingly. See if they're going to movement lock. They are, in which case we throw our reinforcements in. And they're going to regret it soon. And yeah, the other 25-year expansion and target is just feeding Crimea, basically. They can be our northern tribal puppet. So, building's finished in Izmit. Let's get another one going. What's the population like? We're at 56,000 right now. We would like to drive that up if possible. Be a warehouse. Could be good. Get some urban production power going as well. The fact that there's an important center of production here means that lots of provinces nearby can get this urban production skill increase over time, because it kind of radiates out from these important centers of production. We'd like a minor one in Izmit. So yeah, get a warehouse going. And you've got roads already, haven't you? Yeah. Improving relations would help against coalitions. Yeah, well, maybe. We probably can't do it in time. Most of the people currently willing to join the coalition hate us so much that it's not possible to improve relations. There's no degree of improving relations with any of the people that are currently considering joining the coalition that would make them choose not to join the coalition. But attract qualified artisans in Constantinople if you're not doing so already. Have you removed the war exhaustion from Wars event? Yes, I detest it. I haven't removed the event, actually. I just removed the modifier. Why would you be attracting skilled artisans? I thought once you had max level trade good, there was no impact of the production skill. Am I wrong? Does it affect profitability? Yeah, no, if I was min-maxing, I guess there would be some people I'd be improving with on... I'm not saying that to demean min-maxing. I would be improving with maybe Sutenia, but... They leak around, the skilled artisans? Do they? Why wouldn't I attract in Izmit, though, if that's where I wanted them? I guess because I can't right now. How much does it cost to attract qualified artisans again? 20 ducats and 5 diplo points. Yeah, that seems well worth it. Let's do that in a couple of places. Which does linen upgrade to? It's, I always forget. Silk, I think it's cloth silk, right? You need a center to start doing it? Yeah. And we'll do it down here as well. Oh, no, can't do it here because there's no center yet. And we should start focusing on... Oh god, there's no workshop even in Athens. We probably damaged Athens quite a lot in the siege. Linen is paper and clothes. I assume that means cloths. But cloth is... Clothes? Oh, leather. I think linen goes to leather. I swear, it's the only wiki page I use for M&T these days. M&T trade goods. You attract artisans in multiple places. I always did it, even though I never noticed the difference. Yeah. Yeah. So we want cloth, which upgrades to silk, because silk is what we're going for. So when we get some local production centers in these provinces, we're going to switch them to cloth rather than linen. And we already have silk here, we already have cloth here. So yes, the leather here we should change. Although, are you gaining any urban production skill? Yeah, like 0.002. I don't want to change this one when it's not actually growing anyway. That just seems wasteful. So we'll leave that for now. But yeah, cloth is the target. Wow, they have a big morale advantage. Oh, they're crushing us. Ah, right. It's because a bunch of these soldiers are Mamluks, and the Mamluks are probably, you know, rubbish. We're there in 2 days. Please don't break on the final day. Okay, the reinforcements did get there. We should be okay, because now it's actually our men on the front line. No, they have too many reinforcements, it looks like. Good roll, please. A 1 to a 9. That's not good. Gonna keep being tolerant for now. They are taking casualties, but so are we. Looks like we're gonna lose that one. Just because their regiments are better than mine. You guys can flee from that now. Yeah, we took... Wait, was that just me? Why isn't it showing the Mamluks in this battle? That's odd. I guess because they didn't retreat when I retreated. They just broke because their morale was lowered by my retreat. So it's technically 2 ends to the battle. It's my presumption. Right, so we've got some more money. Could build some roads. Yeah, let's save up and then do a road project. I'd like to get level 1 roads everywhere. Not everywhere, but everywhere important. By the way, Lambert, you know you can do this. You can select multiple provinces. You know this? I never knew this. You can shift-click provinces. Lol, what? Exactly. I have like a 100-second video going out this afternoon on this subject. Madness. Exactly. I'd say go for mines first. Do you think over roads? I'm doing it for the... It's true, actually. Now I'm doing it for the communication efficiency mostly. I don't really understand the calculations on how much money you make from mines. Wait, there's a fight starting here? Ah, the Crimeans are coming in. Absolute scenes. I know. Me and Lambert between us have about 11,000 hours in this game. Neither of us knew this. Madness. Alright, so we got the siege there, which means we should be able to demand this. No, because that's the fort, quote-unquote, in the area. So we'll go for this instead. Okay. That's good. We'll take cash, please. And a lot of the aggressive expansion is coming from this province. Look at that. Almost half is coming from this province. Because this, right, somehow, the Trebizond has built a city to rival Constantinople, at least in total development. Do you have like... Oh, okay, they have really... Yeah, lumber is relatively expensive. That's probably part of why. Oh, and they have a copper mine. Okay, I'm beginning to understand why this is such a good province. But it's a heck of a province we're taking in this war. You wouldn't expect that to be a 130 aggressive expansion peace deal, would you? Send demand. Yoink. Nice. Oh, mission fulfilled. I didn't even know it was going to do that. Pontic Coast. You get a claim on the Crimea region. Nice. So we could declare on the coalition. It's pretty weak right now. We could definitely beat this coalition. Wallachia, are you still guaranteed by Hungary? Yeah. Could declare war on you, but then we get Castile. I'd like to declare war on the coalition. It's almost always a good idea to declare war on your coalition before it grows. We will leave them be. We will take the court cash, please. Speaking of the court, let's take a look at our education and court for a moment here. Trebizond is my eastern capital, frequently. Really good province, coastal too. Yeah, it's a good one. It's definitely a good one for, because relay, we've talked a lot about relay ports down into the eastern Mediterranean. In terms of in the east, where it's obviously going to be Constantinople, then Varna being the only. It's worth noting regarding communication efficiency, we talked about it a bunch earlier, but if you're trying to get communication from Byzantium over here, it doesn't matter if you go here and then into this port and then back out and this way, or here and then into this port and then out and this way. You don't need to try and find a relay port that's close to where you're going. It just has to be on the sea zone that you're going through. Hey, Tirosh. So we're going to have, you know, Constantinople, then Varna, then Sinop, then... well, no, actually, we probably won't make this our relay port. We'll probably make this our relay port, because that's when you then want to drive your road east. This is going to be one of the other eastern roads. So we'll probably have a city here, but the main port will be here. So there'll be two cities in this region, and then obviously also Kaffa. Although actually, Kaffa is only a good one, and this one is a. Oh no, this is the same. Yeah, natural harbor and. Bay are like the same tier, I believe. Higher level ports also skip sea zones. Is that true? How does that work? I'm not familiar with that mechanic. Anyway, yeah, maybe we should build some mines instead. I think we might have maxed out mines though. No, we haven't. Yeah, let's build. Sure, let's build some mines. They're real cheap anyway. The good thing about roads is that you can build them with manpower, which we're about to start having a kind of almost permanent surplus. Why can I not do this? Oh, we can't afford it. Okay. So, who should we be spying on? I mean, maybe it's time to start spying on the Mamluks. But I kind of need to deal with the coalition first. So, come on. Someone small and not allied to Castile, please join the coalition against me. And then I can... Oh, hello. Zeta is in the coalition. Ah, oh, balls. But that's going to bring in Venice. Okay, that's not really viable. How did I lose a Diplos relation slot? What happened there? Did my international influence decline? Mines give a lot of returns, but not directly. It all goes to local wealth. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how mines work. I think I do. It goes. I think some of it goes to local wealth, some of it goes to production, but bullion mines go directly into the treasury. Okay, so let's get some tier 3 mines going. I'm definitely sure that like silver and gold mines go directly to the treasury. You guys can go back to protecting the Aegean. Do they really make much difference protecting here? Let's see when they arrive. We're making 22.7 ducats. Unhappy merchants. Oh, well, that's going to slightly ruin my test. 21.84 is what it is right now. Gold, yes. Silver, I think, is taxed. Are you sure? I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Thraki has an outbreak of influenza. Well, we all know how you deal with this. Let's quarantine the port. We've all become intimately familiar with this procedure. Yeah, okay. 4 ducats extra from having the fleet here. And the fleet costs 2.6 ducats. I call that a good return on investment. Plus, it's going to scare the bejesus out of anyone thinking of declaring war on me. I'm not marrying you, Mamluks. Stop asking. When someone turns you down, if you ask them to marry them, you shouldn't ask them again unless they've made it very clear that their position has changed. It's a good lesson for both life and EU4. You're right, it's gold and silver. Okay. Gems are local. Okay. Because, yeah, local wealth is really good because it builds into... The locals use it to build buildings, and I think it also gets used to improve rural infrastructure, and you also tax it. So there's no real downside to it being transferred to local wealth. For example, Constantinople right now has a rural wealth of 85 and an urban wealth of 253. I assume, I'm not certain, but I assume rural wealth gets spent on rural infrastructure and urban wealth gets spent on new buildings. Could be wrong though. You tax both, so. Bum bum bum. Yeah, it's a shame we didn't connect with our Crimean vessel, but realistically, we're not going to need to send any men out to Crimea anyway. Theodora seems like a good target, actually. They're in our coalition range. Yeah, let's go. Well, do I want to go against them immediately? No, we'll just wait. Rural mainly goes for rural infrastructure, but mixed. Okay, cool. Thanks. All right, cool. Well, successful war against Georgia. Oh, look at that. Imereti is immediately spat out as independent. You want to be my vassal? No, we have their core provinces, sadly. And looks like Georgia has practically ceased to exist. Did Georgia just... What happened there? Georgia must have had some kind of collapse event or something, because Georgia no longer exists. And these guys are no government name. That could cause problems. I wonder if that's going to bug the game out. I'm actually going to be abundantly cautious and delete that nation so that doesn't cause us any problems. Bum 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 bum. Just going to attack to these guys and then annex these guys. There we go. A man familiar with the debug menu. So, I'm going to call it a part there. It was a really good episode. We got lots of nice land in the east. This place is obviously a center of production. We're going to make lots of good headway there. Of course, it's Orthodox, a lot of this, so it's going to further hurt our religious unity, but we're working on religious ideas, taking our first idea in quite a while. Now, I think we're going to chill for a little bit, rack up some manpower, excuse me, scare off the coalition, and then we're going to go after the Mamluks. Till next time, thank you very much. See you then.